अन्तमन्तदाकारं व्यक्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानातिमिरन्तस्य ज्ञानजनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्यक्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। भावजीव्यक्ति यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सर्वश्रुतिशिरोरत्न विरचितपदम्बुजः इदन्तं वज्रसूर्योय तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चैतन्य शाश्वतशब्दो व्योमतीतो निरञ्जनः बिन्दुनादकलातीत तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ज्ञानशक्तिसमारुढ तत्त्वमाला विभूषितः भुक्तिमुक्तिप्रदत्तो च तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अनेकजन्मसम्प्राप्त कर्मबन्धविदाहिने आत्मज्ञानप्रदानेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। शोषणं भावसिन्धु च ज्ञापनं सारसम्पदः गुरुपादोदकं सम्यक् तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। न गुरुराधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरुराधिकं तपः तत्त्वज्ञानात्परं नास्ति तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मानता श्रीजगन्नाथ मद्गुरु श्रीजगद्गुरु ममात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुरादिरनाथिश्च गुरुपरमदैवतं गुरुपरतरं नास्ति तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। गुरुनारायण 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 नारायण नारायण Guru Narayana 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 Guru Narayana 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 Guru Narayana 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 Guru Narayana 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 Guru 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 Narayana Shri Swami Vishwananda Narayana Narayana Shri Vishwananda Narayana Narayana Shri Swami Vishwananda Narayana Narayana Shri Swami Vishwananda Narayana Narayana Shri Swami Vishwananda Narayana Narayana Swami Vishwananda Narayana Narayana Shri Swami Vishwananda Narayana Narayana Swami Vishwananda Narayana Narayana Guru 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 Narayana Shri Swami Vishwananda Narayana Narayana Swami Vishwananda Narayana Narayana Shri Swami Vishwananda Narayana Narayana Swami Vishwananda Narayana Narayana Shri Swami Vishwananda Narayana Narayana Om Mahavatara Shishaya Namaha Om Vishamaya Namaha Om Devakaya Samudrataya Namaha Om Sukshmatanave Namaha Om Chinmayaya Namaha Om Guru Muktaye Namaha Om Sundaraya Namaha Om Sulochanaya Namaha Om Samukaya Namaha Om Charvasaya Namaha Om Keshavaya Namaha Om Padmabhujaya Namaha Om Mandagamanaya Namaha Om Charumbaradharine Namaha Om Ramaya Namaha Om Mantirasthapakaya Namaha Om Shivji Babachakaya Namaha Om Gayatri Ajmane Namaha Om Arpanasvikarkaya Namaha Om Vishnu Pujakaya Namaha Om Namo Narayane Mantrapasakaya Namaha Om Swaramaya Namaha Om Anturakarantaya Namaha Om Krishna Sankirtana Lavupaya Namaha Om Stuta Priyaya Namaha Om Nitabashine Namaha Om Vakmine Namaha Om Chitrakala Sharadaya Namaha Om Vratatranaya Namaha Om Santave Namaha Om Jagannathaya Namaha Om Saralokahitaya Namaha Om Bhakta Priyaya Namaha Om Suvidaya Namaha Om Anukulaya Namaha Om Niyaya Namaha Om Sudarshanaya Namaha Om Bhaktavatsalaya Namaha Om Premamurtaye Namaha Om Shuvekshanaya Namaha Om Pritivartanaya Namaha Om Swastidayakaya Namaha Om Tarakaya Namaha Om Anugrahaya Namaha Om Vardhanaya Namaha Om Achintaya Namaha Om Artaya Namaha Om Siddhipradaya Namaha Om Janardhanaya Namaha Om Anuharaya Namaha Om Mahakshaya Namaha Om Siddhishwaraya Namaha Om Bhasmabhushitaya Namaha Om Atmalingaya Namaha Om Lingachana Protsakaya Namaha Om Siddhisartanaya Namaha Om Maidavaya Namaha Om Omkarapasakaya Namaha Om Sukshmaya Namaha Om Vishokaya Namaha Om Satvikaya Namaha Om Samadakshine Namaha Om Dakshaya Namaha Om Achintyaya Namaha Om Nirankaraya Namaha Om Nirmohaya Namaha Om Avyagraya Namaha Om Chitakrodaya Namaha Om Vinayashilaya Namaha Om Svavashaya Namaha Om Kushavaya Namaha Om Shamaya Namaha Om Satyadharmaya Namaha Om Nirvikalpaya Namaha Om Viraktaya Namaha Om Matindraya Namaha Om Satyasantaya Namaha Om Pavitraya Namaha Om Aturasambhavaya Namaha नमः ॐ प्रसन्नात्मने नमः ॐ भक्तहितये नमः ॐ साक्षये नमः ॐ समत्वये नमः ॐ सदयोगिने नमः ॐ हरये नमः ॐ सुतपाय नमः ॐ सौम्याय नमः ॐ गुह्याय नमः ॐ विमुक्तात्माय नमः ॐ गभीराय नमः ॐ गुप्ताय नमः ॐ आत्मरमाय नमः ॐ श्रीनिवासाय नमः ॐ देवाय नमः ॐ द्युतितराय नमः ॐ धन्याय नमः ॐ गुरवे नमः ॐ दुरतिक्रमाय नमः ॐ गगनाय नमः ॐ भगवते नमः ॐ परिशरणमार्गदर्शकाय नमः ॐ कुटस्थजगन्नाथाय नमः ॐ विप्रयाय नमः ॐ सर्वमतसाङ्ख्याय नमः ॐ शमिकतपावर्तकाय नमः ॐ प्रेमवतार श्री विश्वानन्द स्वामी नमः। हतो देवा अवन्तुनो यतो विष्णुर्विचक्रमे प्रजीय सप्तधामभिः इदं विष्णुर्विचक्रमे त्रेतानि तते पदं सामोदमस्य पागुं सुरे त्रीणि पदा विचक्रमे विष्णुर्गोपा अदाभ्यः अतो धर्माणि धरिणे विष्णुधर्माणि पश्यत यतो वृतानि पस्पसे इन्द्रस्य युष्य सदा तद्विष्णोः परमं पदं सदा पश्यति सूर्यः दिवि चक्षुरा तथा तद्विप्रसो विपन्यवो जागृभागुं ससमिन्दते विष्णुर्य परमं पदम्। प्रेमवतराय विद्महे सद्गुरुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विश्वानन्दः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ प्रेमवतराय विद्महे सद्गुरुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विश्वानन्दः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ प्रेमवतराय विद्महे सद्गुरुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विश्वानन्दः प्रचोदयात्। समाप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। Shri Krishna Vishnu Madhusudana Gitavare Narayana Achyuta Trivikram Chakrapane Vedadi Sachara Shri Vasudeva Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Rukmini Sharavanaša Hare Murare Radesha Gopesha Surupa Gunani Vandra Shri Varakashaya Vaikuntha Pate Bhuvane Kamurte Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Nirakrute Kana Rupa Varaha Murte Devi Kamaya Guhane Guru Rama Rama Shri Rama Krishna Yadunandana Karti Rupa Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Govinda Madhava Mukunda Paraparesha Damodara Nanda Kedari Shori Gopa Gopi Jana Samrita Dina Bando Gopi Jana Priya Hare Tava Suprabhatam Shri Radhi Sai Bhutabhrteshwarnath Mandir Sarvakari Sadhana Sai Ramanga Sai Shri Gopa Bhama Vidutanta Sajani Sai Gopa Vallabha Hare Tava Suprabhatam Shri Kashyapa Suta Narada Gautamadi Brahmashi Sangamani Sangava Bharatesho Tishtanti Devata Darshana Bhagayeto Gopala Shekharaye Tava Suprabhatam Nandara Jadi Tulasi Ravamala Kajare Mayani Anjali Pute Samudaharante Tishtanti Dvapara Taratale Munindra Raja Manoharaye Tava Suprabhatam Vedakaya Patati Gotama Kala Guya Gayanti Sakuna Gano Varada Savana Sankirtayanti Tava Nama Kada Vishesha Shri Naradadi Rishaya Tava Suprabhatam Govardhanodharana Gopa Kishora Gopa Gopi Jananita Sudesha Bhavani Pota Trilokya Mohana Sumangala Lila Deha Shri Rukmini Shavarada Tava Suprabhatam Shri Vatsachina Sharanagata Parijata Bhakti Vanjana Kripakara Dina Bando Dijanta Gayati Jana Priya Divya Rupa Shri Nanda Gopa Tanaya Tava Suprabhatam Padmaksha Padma Mukha Padma Dara Prameya Padmalaya Shaira Padma Nivasa Shori Padmo Bhavanti Surasevita Para Padma Padmadinanda Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Vrinaka Devi Ananaya Mahendra Vanda Kanda Paraparakinya Sudesha Rupa Chandrananaya Shira Chandana Lipna Deha Govinda Yadava Hare Tava Suprabhatam Chandananandana Yashoda Kumara Dhira Mayanga Dina Ravishona Supushpahara Nila Budala Sushahira Rama Vihara Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Srimad Sri Chandrapati Sakra Sukanda Bhadra Shri Mitra Vinda Jiva Saprabhu Purvikajare Tishtanti Jiva Bhavame Tava Sevanada Govinda Bhakti Hare Tava Suprabhatam Shri Krishna Achyuta Ananda Mukunda Shori Radha Manohara Janardana Chakrapane Ramani Divya Muna Yogini Sangadanti Brahmi Muhurta Samaye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Krishna Suprabhatam Yedadati Anisa Bhuvi Krita Mahapapa Shri Krishna Loka ईश्वर परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंद सुरकरण कारण गोविंद माधि पुरुषा तमाम भजामि गोविंद माधि पुरुषा तमाम भजामि चिंतामणि प्रकट सर्व सुखापदेशा रक्षा विदेश सुरवीर विप्रलया
Om Agnanam Timirandasya Gyanam Jana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Gurudev, good morning. This morning's Srimad Bhagavatam verse is Canto 4, Chapter 8, verse 24. Maitreya Uvacha Evam sajalpitam matur akrayana gaman vacha saniyam atma atmanam nishkara krama pitupurat. The great sage Maitreya continued, the instruction of Dhruva Maharaj's mother, Suniti, was actually meant for fulfilling his desired object. Therefore, after deliberate consideration and with intelligence and fixed determination, he left his father's house. So this verse comes from the conversation that Vidur is having with sage Maitreya. And he was asking about Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva, this is from mural 85, back there. And Dhruva was the son of King Uttanapada and the least favorite wife, Sunita. And 5-year-old Dhruva sees his half-brother sitting on the lap of the king. And like any 5-year-old, he also wants to sit on the lap of his father. But his stepmother will have nothing to do with it. And she scolds him and pushes him away. And she says, if you want to sit on the lap of the king, then you must be born as my son. And because you were not born in my womb, you are not qualified to sit on the king's lap. So Dhruva was deeply, deeply hurt by this, and he ran off to his mother. And he was talking with his mother, who said, she's right. If you want to sit on the king's lap, you have to be born as his son. But the king is not your real father. And Lord Narayan is your real father, and you should focus your attention on sitting in his lap, not the king's lap. So she said, you need to build a relationship with the Divine Father and get to know him, and there you will sit eternally in his lap, because this king will die someday, and he will be gone, but only the Lord is eternal. And so Dhruva took her words to heart, and he went to the forest to attain the Lord. And he's only 5 years old, and yet he is determined. He is absolutely committed to this path, and he is going to do whatever it takes. And in the temple art book, it says, Dhruva is a profound example of bhakti, even at 5 years old. And it is said, when God hears your sincere call, when he hears you truly crying for him, no matter where he is, he will leave everything and rush to you. However, you must have that longing for God inside, and that's what will pull God to you. So each of us have a story about how we were longing for God. However it is, whatever happened in your lives, something sparked this yearning, this longing for something greater than yourself. For me, it was when my mother died unexpectedly, and I had been living her expectations my whole life. And suddenly that was gone, and I didn't know what I wanted, what was important to me in my life. For someone else, it was 9/11 in America, when the terrorists hijacked planes and crashed into buildings and thousands of people were killed. And all of a sudden, someone realized life is not a guarantee. It can end at any moment. So I have to find something more permanent than this. For someone else, it's living in a war-torn country and realizing that if you don't have something greater than yourself, you're just going to die. And then what? And so whatever it is, we find our way to the spiritual path. And our soul's yearning, our soul's longing calls to us the Satguru, who comes and finds us in our lives. It's not us who finds him. It's him who finds us. And however those circumstances are, we have our first encounter with him, and something special happens. Swami Kuru was just saying in his satsang last night that Guruji gives first. So he gives an experience, some kind of powerful experience that gives us a glimpse of some possibility that touches our hearts and opens us to something greater than we ever imagined possible. For me, it was my first darshan, and I had a burning question. I came up to Guruji, and I'd been practicing the question all the way through the line, and I get up in front of him, and I'm standing there, and he looks in my eyes, I look in his eyes, and nothing happens. And I go sit down, and I think, that was it? But a few minutes later, the noise in the room came back, and all of the hundreds of people came back. And I realized that for a few minutes, there was no one but me and him. No one but me and Guruji. And I realized that was something special. I didn't understand what it meant for many years. I didn't understand that what I had done was tapped into the silence of the heart. And it's only in the silence of the heart that we can find and commune with God. So I needed knowledge. I needed something to explain this to me so that I could make sense of this experience. So in this verse, it's talking about determination, but it's also saying we have to have this longing. And Guruji so much lately is talking about this idea of longing and transformation. So I looked up the definition of longing, and it says a strong need or a desire to attain something. And it describes an unfulfilled desire. So Guruji speaks about it's the soul's unfulfilled desire to be in communion with God. And how do we come to understand that if we don't have any context at all of God? So we're searching. We search in books, we listen to stories, and like many people, I read Autobiography of a Yogi. And there was something in that book that activated something inside of my soul that said, I want to know God. And many people have had this same experience. And then they start searching, and they start searching for whatever, they find. In Autobiography Yogi, it's Kriya Yoga, Mahavatar Babaji, and people come searching for that. And somehow they end up here at Bhakti Marga with Guruji. And I recently had some students, Atma Kriya students, and they were coming in that way. They came looking for Babaji, and they end up here. And they get into a class, and they don't have a concept of God as a person. They have a concept of God as everything. But we start talking about bhakti. We start talking about having a relationship with the divine, and that this relationship is the most satisfying thing that you can possibly have in your life. And it doesn't make sense in the beginning until you have an experience. And someone has a profound darshan, has a profound encounter, because they are desperately yearning for an answer to, is this all there is to life? What can I get? What can I attain? What do I need to do in order to find something that is going to sustain me longer than this body? And so it comes not out of something we learn in a book, but it comes out of grace. It comes out of something that's not heard, but something felt in the heart. And Swami Parentapa said something really profound one day. He said, God is waiting for us to want Him more than we want anything else in life. Guruji is waiting for us to want Him more than we want anything else in life. And that's really an amazing definition of longing. Do you want Guruji? Do you want God more than anything else? Do you want Guruji? Do you want God more than you want to sleep in the morning? More than you want ice cream or pizza? Or more than you want to go on vacation? Or more than you want anything? Everything. And Guruji says that Krishna, God, will not settle for anything less than 100%. So that means that we have to give Him 100% of our attention. We can't give Him 30% or 50% or even 99%. It has to be 100%. So how do we do that if we're not there? If we don't have the grace to long for Him and cry with tears of desire that just says, Lord, when are you going to show up in my life like Andal? Most of us don't have that. So what do we do? How do we get there? And how do we get inspired to change? Guruji recently in his satsangs has been very sharp. His satsangs have been quite cutting and challenging to say, transform. You must transform. You must change the mind. You must change the way that you look at the world and you look at yourself. And it's no longer about sitting back and being complacent and being lazy and just going, yeah. Guruji last night in his satsang was saying, yeah, you think God is sitting here going, oh yeah, I'm going to grace that lazy one over there with God realization. Yeah, for sure. Why not? Deserves it for sure. Not. So what do we do? What do we have to change in ourselves in order to be worthy of that grace? And I was having a beautiful conversation with one of the residents last night. We were walking about what inspires us to change. And I thought, I think it comes from having a moment where we realize that we're not in alignment with what Guruji is talking about. And whatever it is, a satsang or some experience, we realize I'm not aligned with this idea of what Guruji is asking me to be. And so once you realize you're not aligned, then you have to make a decision. What's more important? Everything else or Guruji and God? And that's the only decision we need to make. And when we make that decision for saying Guruji and God is the most important thing in our life, then we have to start putting our actions behind that decision. And what does that look like? That means every moment of our lives, with every breath we take, every beat of our heart, we have to keep choosing God. We can't just say, oh yeah, I choose God, and then forget about it. It's a constant decision. That's Atma Kriya Yoga. That's doing our Kriya with awareness of God in each moment and choosing Him over everything else. So you can't get somewhere unless you know where you are now. So we have to do an accurate and honest assessment of where we are. And if I say I'm over there and I want to get there, I plot a course and I do it. But if I'm really not there and I'm really over here and I plot that same course, I'm not going to get to my objective. So I have to be honest about where I am. And that's where Guruji's satsangs are really helpful, because we listen and we say, is every action I do dedicated to God? Do I do my seva out of getting the glory of me, myself, and I, how great I am? Or do I really, truly do it to glorify Him? And you have to sit with that. You have to sit with that and be honest and tell the truth. No one else is going to tell you. I mean, Guruji's telling us all the time, but are we listening? So you have to really examine it for yourself. And once you know that you're not in alignment, then you have to start making little changes. And if you tried to change everything all at once, it would be overwhelming. So there's this technique I learned a long time ago. It's called chunk it up. So instead of looking on the mundane reality here and say, okay, I have to do this different, that different, this different, that different, that different, it's overwhelming, and we get fed up and frustrated, and we give up before we even begin. So we have to go to a higher level, a higher plane, and attach to something greater. So mine that I'm attached to at the moment is, what would love do in this situation? What would love do? Because that's a really high quality love. And even if it's just human love, it's better than my mundane reality in my mind that says, this is unfair, or that's unfair, or how dare you do this to me. It's about, what would love do? What would love do if I hear some challenging words? What would love do if I am scolded or I'm put down by someone else? What would love do? Love would accept it and say, what is there for me to learn from this? What's here? What's the gift in this for me? How can I benefit from this? How can I grow from this? How can I be a better human being this afternoon? Not waiting till tomorrow, but right now, in this moment. And then once we chunk it up and we have something that can be our guiding action, then we just start making our decisions from a conscious place instead of an unconscious place. We try to bring that conscious awareness into each action. And we say, okay, what would love do in this moment? What would love do in that moment? And at the end of the day, when you realize that you thought about it when you first got up and you haven't thought about it since, then you can at least say, Okay, Lord, thank you very much. What would love do in this moment? Love would say, thank you for this day. Thank you for all of these opportunities to see myself in the mirror of others. Thank you for this opportunity to serve you in whatever little tiny fraction, little molecule of service done from my heart. Thank you for that opportunity. And help me to pay more attention tomorrow so that I can have 2 molecules instead of 1. And then you go to bed saying Krishna Arpanamastu, giving it everything to God so that you don't take the karma of everything you've done in that day. And you wake up tomorrow and you start again. You say your mantras, you think of Guruji's feet, you say, I'm giving you this day. Every thought, every word, every breath, every beat in my heart, I offer to you in service. Please, please, please help me remember you throughout my day. Help me remember to ask the question, what would love do now? And then guide me in my day. Don't let me take over because I know I can. That's not what you want. Because if we are in the way and we keep doing things, we don't allow Guruji and God to have a place in our life. We don't allow him to do what needs to be done. Not for us, but for others. We're not here for ourselves. We're here to serve others. So Guruji's tweet in the last 2 days, he said, the love and mercy of the Satguru is often understood much later, so we don't appreciate him when we have him. However, if you have been blessed to be in your Satguru's presence in this life, don't waste a single moment. That's what Guruji's telling us every satsang. Don't waste time. Take advantage of this moment. Take advantage of our presence with him and his presence with us. Each moment is more precious than gold because in this life you have the full potential to attain the lotus feet that you have been earnestly praying to reach. Each moment is more precious than gold because in this life itself, we have the full potential to attain the lotus feet that we have been earnestly praying for, not in this life, but for countless lives before now. We have this full potential to attain this now. But we cannot attain it if we are lazy and complacent and we sit back and think, we have Guruji in our lives. He's not going to grace us if we just sit back. The highest heights, spirituality, and deepest depths of love, the sweetest nectar of the divine relationship between Atma and Paramatma can be realized through the blessing of the Satguru. He can give us everything. Everything, material and non-material. And all he asks is for us to remember him. It's very simple. He simply says, remember me, include me in your day, invite me into everything that you do. Let me be a part of your life. Offer everything to the lotus feet of the Lord. It's so simple. It's so profoundly simple. So we have to get out of our own way. Let go of everything else that no longer serves. Choose Guru and God in each moment. Make Guru and God more important than anything, than everything else in our life. And then it's easy. And if we can't do it by ourselves, get help. Listen to Guruji's satsangs. Every satsang has some treasure in it. Something that can help you if you just contemplate on it. Go to people and ask to hear their stories. Everybody's story is an inspiration. Everybody's story of how they got here, what sustains them in the difficult times. Listen to those stories. Read the Bhagavatam. Read those stories of those great saints. Dhruva Maharaj. He's 5 years old and he's determined to sit on the lap of Narayan. Are you? Are you really going to commit your life to doing that? Or are you willing to come back again and again and again until you get it? Guruji is here. He hasn't been here very many times. He's here now. We have the full potential to reach the lotus feet of the Lord, what we've been praying for forever. Don't waste it. Jai Gurudev.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Vishwananda Gurudev. Gurudev, Gurudev Shri Vishwananda Gurudev. Gurudev, Gurudev Shri Vishwananda Gurudev. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. Om Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Vrinda Devi. Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Vrinda Devi. Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Sitaram, Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Sitaram. Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Sitaram, Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Sitaram. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Oh Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Gurudev, Gurudev Shri Vishwananda Gurudev. 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 Gurudev, Gurudev, Gurudev Shri Vishwananda Gurudev. Sadgurudev Maharaj ki jai. Bajranga Hare Vithala, Bajranga Hare Vithala, Bajranga Hare Vithala, Bajranga Hare Vithala, Panduranga Hare Vithala, Panduranga Hare Vithala. Panduranga जो जावे पावे दुख बिना से मन का स्वामी दुख बिना से मन का सुख संपत्ति करावे सुख संपत्ति करावे अष्टमी के कनका ओम जय जगदीश हरे माता पिता तुम्हारे शरण गाँव में की सकी स्वामी शरण गाँव में की सकी तुम्हारा बिना और न दूजा तुम्हारा बिना और न दूजा आस करूँ जी सकी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा तुम अंतर्यामी स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी पर ब्रह्म परमेश्वर पर ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता स्वामी तुम पालन करता मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी कृपा करो बरता ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम एका गोचर सबके प्राणपति स्वामी सबके प्राणपति किसली मेरो दयामय किसली मेरो कृपामय तुमको मैं गुणजी ओम जय जगदीश हरे दीन बंधु दुखहर्ता तुम्हारा रक्षक मेरे स्वामी तुम्हारा रक्षक मेरे करुणा हृदय बढ़ाओ करुणा हृदय बढ़ाओ शरण बदल तेरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे विषय विकार मिटाओ पापारो देवा स्वामी पापारो देवा श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ श्रद्धा प्रेम बढ़ाओ संतन की सेवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे तन मन धन सब है तेरा स्वामी सब कुछ है तेरा स्वामी सब कुछ है तेरा तेरा तुझको अर्पण तेरा तुझको अर्पण प्यारा ये मेरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट जन में दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे मन चाकर रागो जी गिरारी लाला चाकर रागो जी गिरारी लाला चाकर रागो जी गिरारी लाला चाकर रागो जी मन चाकर रागो जी गिरारी लाला चाकर रागो जी गिरारी लाला चाकर रागो जी गिरारी लाला चाकर रागो जी ओ चाकर रागो चाकर रागो चाकर रागो जी चाकर रागो चाकर रागो चाकर रागो जी माने चाकर रागो जी गिरारी लाला चाकर रागो जी श्याम माने चाकर रागो जी गिरारी लाला चाकर रागो जी गोविंद माने चाकर रागो जी गिरारी लाला चाकर रागो जी गिरारी लाला चाकर रागो जी गिरारी लाला चाकर रागो त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणा त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव गोविन्द असतो मा सकमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति Shanti Shanti Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Namswala Shri Lakshmi Narayana Bhagavan Ki Sri Bhutabhrteshwarnath Mandir Ki Sri Bhakti Marga Ki Sri Bhutabhrteshwarnath Mandir Ki Sri Ramanujacharya Ki Namswala Sadgurudeva Sri Swami Vishwananda Mahaprabhu Ki Om Krishnaya Govindaya Gopichana Vallabhaya Paraya Parampurushaya Parakarma Mantra Yanta Tantra Oshadastra Sastrani Samara Samara Vichaya Mochaya Mochaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dipte Svarapridaya Svarikshavanam Pat Parasmai Paramramane Paramtatse Svaha Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Jai Jai